I had actually witnessed satanic rituals in Hollywood when I was in downtown LA, which was like very shocking to me. And I didn't really know what to think of it, what to make of it. But I was still an atheist at the time,
You
so
already know what it
I
is.
didn't
It's
look.
your boy Laid Back with another reaction, another review, another episode. Hey, TikTok, you up to bat. Bah. It's your boy Laid Back. Welcome back to my channel. Hey, two things we gotta do. You gotta hit that subscribe button. I'm drinking this water. You already know what it is, man. You are the prize in 2025. You are the prize in 2025. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Stay up to date with all the videos. We back with another one. Before we get into it, if you haven't copped the merch, you might want to do so. It's fire, I'm telling you. Also, if you want to book a consultation with me, you can one-on-one. It'll be in the pinned comment. But we back with another one, man. You make it to the end of this one, you a real one for real. But we back with some exposing some Hollywood type stuff with this one, Illuminati conspiracy. But let's go ahead and get into it. Fire Squad, what's popping? Let's get it.
Epstein and Diddy both, those were blackmail rings. That's literally what was going on.
100%.
They were videoing everybody getting incriminating evidence on people so that they could then hold them hostage in doing various things.
I'm going to say something super controversial, and maybe people are going to think I'm an idiot, but I don't think Jeffrey Epstein's dead.
I don't know that he is either.
Think about
honestly.
it. You're telling me that the most powerful man at that time that fooled colleges, fooled the most powerful people, had an island, had tapes, and he was with the most influential people in the world. You think he didn't prepare to get locked up? You don't think that he was in his ring? He goes, 15 minutes. Every minute that I'm not out of here, I'm going to release somebody from Australia's going to send something. Somebody from London's going to send something. They don't have footage of somebody killing him, but they have footage of them removing his body. That dude is probably watching this podcast being like, I knew somebody would figure it out.
It wasn't like the camera was dead or the camera wasn't there. Like,
The
come
whole
on.
thing was so sketchball. Like the cameras weren't working. The two guards who were supposed to be there all night just happened to take a break during that time. Or it's so.
He has a
sus.
submarine.
It's so suspect.
So suspect.
Celebrities have literally been telling us that Satan is in control of Hollywood for a very long time, and most people miss it.
Well, needless to say, sold my soul.
Sometimes they don't want to, and they're, Gaga, we can't get, the frequency's weird, and, it's sounding a little bit strange. And I'm like, if you don't get this right now, I swear to Lucifer, I'm gonna, I get a little bit mad.
Why is your hand over your eye? Because
I'm a devil worshiper. What are you talking about?
All right, well, I have tickets to see the devil worshiper.
Why do you still do it? Why are you still out here?
Well, it goes back to the destiny thing. I made a bargain with it, a long time ago, and I'm holding up my end.
Hell no.
What was your bargain?
To get where I am now.
Should I ask who you made the bargain with?
with the chief commander.
On this earth?
And on this earth, and then in a world we can't see.
There are so many celebrities who have actually sold their soul to the devil. You may think it's just a joke, but they are being serious. Fame, fortune, power, it all sounds good until they realize they got it at the expense of their soul. The Bible says, what does it profit a man if they gain the world, but they lose their soul? Satan doesn't give out free gifts, but he traps you. And the truth is, Jesus is the only one who can set you free. He's the only one who can give you life and life to the fullest. You don't need a deal with the devil. You need to align with the purpose that God has for your life. If you want to learn more about the biblical truths, then follow now.
Do your own research. Gotta say that.
Watch this clip.
Tunnels under Hollywood, owned by the mafia. There's a tunnel under this house. Marilyn Monroe used to take all of Hollywood's A-list, and the vibes are just so off.
So is there a secret tunnel system for Hollywood elite? Yes. Beneath LA, there is an 11-mile tunnel system that connects government buildings, Hollywood studios, and some of the most popular spots around town. In the early 1900s, these tunnels were built for prisoner transfers and for escape routes for government officials. But during Prohibition, they were expanded and used as passageways to underground speakeasies, an operation allegedly run by the mayor's office. By the 50s and and 60s, the tunnels became popular among Hollywood's elite. Stars like Marilyn Monroe, especially during her affair with President JFK, would use these tunnels to enter and exit places like Chateau Marmont discreetly. Judy Garland used them to dodge the spotlight, while the Rat Pack and other mobsters found them perfect for private entrances and evading law enforcement. In the 70s, the tunnel started to deteriorate and eventually became too expensive to maintain. Today, they are literally falling apart. Poor air quality, flooding risks, and homeless encampments make them pretty dangerous to enter. So yes, there is a tunnel system underneath LA that at one point was used for the Hollywood elite. But in their current condition, Jerry Seinfeld probably isn't ordering his morning coffee from there. If you like videos like this, make sure you follow.
Damn, that's crazy shit falling apart.
You say that Hollywood is a cult. Will you explain that to us?
Well, it's the same kind of coercive power structure that you were describing, you know, and it operates in secrecy, and most people think that what happens in Hollywood, it's just, that's Hollywood, it's over there, but it goes out to the world, you know, it's the messaging system for our minds, it's the mirror we're given to look into from such an early age, and it's a really narrow group of people making these films. And so it's a mirror that's really, it's like a messed up mirror. Here's what you are as a man, here's what you are as a girl, here's what you are as a woman, here's what you are as a boy. And it twists your head, and you have to be really, really careful when you're there. And I think people need to be careful even when they're casually watching movies or TV.
I agree.
Start looking at the information they're giving you, not just in the lines. Like I was sent a script, and for no reason the woman was carrying a laundry basket in every scene. She never did the laundry. There was no washing machine anywhere around her, but she was always had a laundry basket.
Yeah.
Why?
And you point out over and over again in the book that a lot of the women's stories in Hollywood are told by men, as in they write them and they direct them.
They write them, they direct them, they edit them, they film them. And there's nothing wrong with men directing movies. It just should be a balanced thing, because otherwise you have, it's in the Directors Guild of America, it's around 96% men. And that statistic hasn't changed since 1946.
Wow.
So people that think Hollywood is a progressive place, I would just kind of beg to.
Wow. 1946?
Sometime we do 10 episodes for my show, and in this last season, I was hitting a block, right? I was like, oh, I'm not doing it right? So I went in the corner, and then I was looking at the wall, and I was like, come on, devil, right? Come to me, because I had to do something like crazy, right? Had nightmares for a month.
What?
So it does come
to it or after?
After. Like I had nightmares every day. Like I felt that energy.
Oh, interesting.
You know,
Hell
I had
no.
to pray and do all this stuff to like get rid of it. And
hell no.
You know, you call your mom up and you're like, bring me back to life. And that stuff is real.
Bro, why would you call on it?
Do y'all remember back in '96 when Martin Lawrence allegedly had this nervous breakdown and he was in the middle of the street with no clothes on, waving a pistol, screaming, "Fight the establishment"? All the major news outlets during this time were reporting it, like the headlines were comedian Martin Lawrence runs into the street, yells at cars. Like literally that was the headlines for like all the major news outlets, that he was yelling at cars with a gun in hand. This article, this is the LA Times. This one actually says that the gun was in his pocket. But from my recollection, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, they were saying that he was waving the gun in the air. Now, the very interesting thing about this is that they were reporting it as a nervous breakdown, but then Hollywood began to mock him.
You got the rape from this side, she's still, she's so big. Ooh,
They wild.
out. What?
Is that Aries Spears? Oh!
Now, during this time, very few people, if any, came to his defense.
Whoa.
Except for Dave Chappelle, and he said this.
You know, when we did Blue Streak, we were promoting it, and Martin had a stroke. He almost died. And then after that, I saw him, and I was like, oh my God, Martin, are you okay? And he said, I got the best sleep I ever got in my life. That's how tough he is. So let me ask you this. What is happening in Hollywood that a guy that tough will be on the street waving a gun, screaming, they are trying to kill me? What's going on? Why is Dave Chappelle going to Africa? Why does Mariah Carey make a $100 million deal and take her clothes off on TRL? A weak person cannot get to sit here and talk to you. Ain't no weak people talking to you. So what is happening in Hollywood? Nobody knows. The worst thing to call somebody is crazy, is dismissive. I don't understand this person, so they're crazy. That's bullshit. These people are not crazy. They're strong people. Maybe the environment is a little sick.
3 years after this, he was hospitalized and in a coma for 3 days. Less than a year later, Big Mama House is in the theater near you.
Yeah, that was crazy.
You'd have to pass out a movie because they wanted you to get shot. You know, say we're doing a movie. I'm like, okay. And then all the producers in Hollywood decided that they don't want anybody on their movie set that haven't gotten a vaccine. You know, I never thought it was a producer's mandate. This is not us. This is this production, that production, this production, that production. I'm like, but it's every production. So you mean tell me every producer in Hollywood has this mandate? Give me a break. It has to come from the studio to hit every producer because every producer don't think the same. It was a studio mandate. They put it on individual producers. Producers talking to my people, and they're like, if he don't take it, you know, he can't be in the movie. It's like, it's not taking it. It's not taking it. It's like, okay, can't do the movie. Okay, no problem. Now, I didn't go out telling everybody what happened. I didn't even tell people that I wasn't vaccinated. I didn't tell people not to go get vaccinated. I didn't tell people that I'm not doing this movie because I don't want to be vaccinated. But somehow, some way, the news hit somebody put it out.
Somebody.
This is why Cube is not doing the movie. It's like, what happened to the HIPAA laws where you're not supposed to reveal a person's medical status? And here it is, they printing mine. And so I just thought it was bullshit. What they want is for people to tell me I'm stupid. You know what I mean? They want people to tell me, hey, you turning down $9 million, you stupid. You know, I'll do anything for $9 million. I didn't lose it. It just was never given to me. And so,
that's facts.
You know, they try to put pressure on me, everybody around me telling me how stupid I am so I can go get vaxxed and say, you know, please let me do the movie. You know, that was never going to happen. I don't care if it was 20 million. That was never going to happen.
There's a lot of people out there that wish they weren't forced into making that decision. They're going to start suing these businesses, and they're already lining up.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
You know, they fired a lot of people, you know, and they had to hire them back.
And give them back pay.
What about the ones that were injured?
Yeah.
You know, they got to have some kind of a repercussion. They just kind of told on themselves that we got this wrong.
Yeah. And nobody wants to talk about it. That's the crazy thing, because all the news
nobody
stories,
can.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm talking about, the gatekeepers. Nobody can talk about it because somebody above them told them no. The guys in the NBA used to talk about the big three. If you go back to year one, all the time. And then they just stop. And then I asked, what happened, man? Why y'all stop? They told us we couldn't mention the big three anymore on air. So I'm like, that's chicken shit. You know, that's that bullshit that I'm talking about. I'm talking about what happened to me, but it obviously happens everywhere to all of us. You know what I mean? And we gotta somehow, some way get these people out of our way, or not support what they're doing and producing. You know, some of these mainstream outlets are really just an extension of these corporate conglomerates. Want to, you know, kind of control our emotions, control our movement, control our spending, control our personalities, our mind. You know, what we gonna do about it? We're gonna just sit here and let it happen day after day, or are we gonna stand up where we can? You know what I mean? And push back when we can. I know everybody can't in all situations, and don't feel bad when you can't. But when you can and you know you can, do it.
Yes.
do it. Like, when you have the leverage,
that.
take it.
I
Use
respect
that to your advantage. You might not always have the leverage.
That's a fact. He talking some shit for sure.
Justin Bieber's trying to expose Hollywood, but nobody's listening. Check this
Has
out.
anybody seen Justin Bieber's Instagram? He posted shipping containers with a photo of a baby on a blanket underneath.
Isn't that weird?
What?
Captioned, I got anger issues too, but I want to grow and not react so much. Yo. In the same post, there's a picture of him as a child.
What's he trying to tell us?
And who remembers a few months back when there was demands to open the shipping containers? Look at the location.
No.
Diddy's house.
Diddy's house.
And look what's right here.
A shipping port.
No way.
Evergreen.
No way.
And who remembers this episode of Dexter? Evergreen. Remember Harry found him in...
Yo, some of this stuff be so ironic. It's crazy. Like, it's either off or it's on point.
the shipping container.
It's darker
What?
than you think.
Well, roll.
Filmmaker and stuntsman Mike Smith reveals that the highest level of Hollywood demands more than your talent. Watch this.
Is it true that to get to a certain level in Hollywood, these famous people have to sacrifice their firstborn child? Is that a crazy thing to say?
I've heard, okay, let me just say for the record, I don't know any of this to be, like I can't prove what I'm about to say. If you ask me what I can prove, I can't prove this. But if you ask me what I believe,
yeah,
I believe that there is a club, and I do believe that there are certain people that to attain certain stature or certain level of influence or power, fame, whatever, you're required to either sacrifice a blood sacrifice, whether it be your mom or a relative or whatever, or transition one of your kids, because it's all worshiping their God, their false God.
So what are the signs that you see that make you think that that's true?
Well, how many, what do you mean? Just go Google. Go Google your stars and see how many of them lost a parent or how many of them lost a kid, died in accidents or died during, a certain period of time in their life. Go Google, go see how many stars have transgender kids. Who do you think's pushing that? Where do you think that comes from? That is Baphomet. That is satanic.
It's dark.
It's evil.
It's very dark.
Whoa.
The thing with Epstein was he was obsessed with eugenics and creating his own race.
Perhaps one of the lesser-known threads about Epstein was his obsession with secret science.
I desperately want to know why Jeffrey Epstein knew so much about my work. I was in the Harvard mathematics department. Jeffrey Epstein was absolutely connected to the Harvard math department. I want to know why.
More specifically, his obsession with gravity and propulsion. He would fly physicists out to his island, Kip Thorne, Stephen Hawking, Murray Gell-Mann. On his little St. James Island, he built a temple with occult symbology, and one of his victims claimed to see a UFO while on Zorro Ranch.
I saw a UFO when I was there, outside at New Mexico. I went to have a cigarette and I saw a weird, lights flying, and then I had the weird thing waking up in the lab.
It was like he was a front, a global honey trap for secret science, arbitraging the lameness of modern academia and the sexual repression of its scientists.
There's a mural called the Centiles, which is the elite spelled backwards, and it's this big mural of all the different people that were associated. Les Wexner, you can see all the characters. Ghislaine Maxwell's depicted as a dragon biting a child in half. It's all very nasty stuff. And then there's also an antenna going up with an FBI flag on it with a flying saucer hanging off the top of it with Epstein's face inside the window.
What?
So it's okay. So who knew and what was he actually trying to achieve in terms of his own scientific ideas and explorations? And obviously, like I said, he's funding all of these different movements. He knew everyone on the Nobel Peace Prize board.
Wow. He was on some other shit.
I think Hollywood has two agendas. It's profit, but it's also propaganda.
Really? Tell me more.
Well, I think they want to influence society, with these movies, and sometimes that's more important than making the money. And then sometimes the money is the most important. You never know which,
See, he talking from a different lens because he actually shoot movies, wrote movies, directed movies. So he's talking from a whole different. He's behind the veil.
God, is being served here. Which master is being served here, so to speak. Sometimes when you're making a movie, because certain things are done purely for the propaganda of it.
Why do you think, I'm assuming not everyone in Hollywood is into propaganda, but it seems like some movies are. Why do you think a part of Hollywood wants to project propaganda so much and serve an agenda versus just make great art?
I think movie companies, for the most part, a lot of them started and were owned by the same people who want to engineer society anyway. It's kind of, this is just part of their portfolio. Some of these, folks are so rich, Hollywood's a toy. Just like guys that own a football team, some of them, the team is the family legacy, maybe like the Cowboys,
right.
But to some, maybe the Rams, this guy who, I don't know if he owned Home Depot or whatever else, it's probably a toy, So I just think, the people who have the ultimate say are people who engineer society in other ways anyway, whether it's, banking or
right.
School, medicine, hospitals, colleges, they want people to think a certain way anyway. And these are the same people who own studios. So that's how that junk gets made.
Speaking facts.
Let's talk about Tate McRae. Here we see her throwing up the eye symbolism as well as it looks like a 666. Of course, Tate herself would reply and say, "Y'all are crazy, it's just an okay symbol with my hands." Here we see more one-eye symbolism. I also think people aren't realizing the answers are right in front of us. Her tour is titled the Miss Possessive Tour. It also looks like she's restrained, like hypothetically she's being controlled. Going back to the name of the tour, the Miss Possessive Tour, ironically enough, the tour being called the Miss Possessive Tour, and Tate McRae would do a Q&A at some point in the last couple years talking about her paranormal experiences.
What?
Roll the clip.
Sensitive to energies. Maybe I'm just too open to all of that stuff, but I swear to God, every single hotel room I'm in, I get possessed.
She would also go on in that same Q&A to talk about her current boyfriend and how they'll fall asleep on the phone with each other. She then goes on to state that she wakes up 3, 4, 5 times in the night screaming because of the nightmare she's experiencing, which is quite ironic because these are all signs of what you would call hypothetical possession. Last but not least, here's a clip from her tour intro that she dropped, I guess before she toured, that I found interesting. Roll the clip. Not only does this possibly allude to her being completely controlled like some people say celebrities are, but it was announcing the Miss Possessive Tour and we see multiple cuts to her throwing up more one-eye symbolism. All I'm saying is it really makes you think. Wake up.
That don't even sound right.
I had actually witnessed satanic rituals in Hollywood when I was in downtown LA, which was very shocking to me. And I didn't really know what to think of it, what to make of it. But I was still an atheist at the time, so I didn't look too deep into that, but it was a little disturbing. And then I was doing some research during the pandemic about how a lot of the celebrities and a lot of the politicians are just worshiping the devil. And I was really taken aback, but I also knew that part of that was real because of me seeing that as well. So I really went down this rabbit hole to see, is the devil real? Why are people worshiping him that are very powerful? And I came to the conclusion that he is real, which really blew my mind because I was like, if Satan is real, then God by default has to be real and my atheism is wrong. And so I was learning new information that was challenging everything I believed in. And so I started to become a lot more open-minded. Wow. But from that day, I was born again. and I was just like, wow, this is even more real than I thought it was. And so to basically summarize that, the reason that I tackle stuff in the demonic so much is because that's what actually led me to Jesus Christ, is seeing that stuff was real.
My first week in landing in Hollywood, Jeremy says, let's go to a party. He partied there, and we got back to the condo where I was living with Artie Rubb, and there's a crowd of people. Also among them was a television star who I have named Emily Foster. I've redacted her name for reasons forthcoming. I'm downstairs smoking a cigarette, and I can't remember who it was, but one of the guys came down. They're like, dude, you got to see this. Something's happening in your room with Leo. And I'm like, what the f*** about it? He's like, Emily Foster's getting off in your room. Now you got to just see this. So he drags me. I go walking up the stairs, and there's like a crowd of people outside my bedroom. There's a landing, and on that landing are about, I don't know, a group of people, whatever, 5, 6, 7 people, and they're gawking inside. And so I look around, and I see Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's on his knees, and he's at the side of my bed, and Emily Foster is laid out on my bed, and she's and he's whispering in her ear, and everybody is watching her.
What?
And let me tell you something. Emily Foster was not an exhibitionist. Emily Foster was infatuated with Leo. She was also one of the biggest TV stars in the world at that time. If I dropped her name right now, I think everybody would know who she is. And I think, sadly, people would probably change their opinion of her in some way, or that it would affect in some way their opinion of her. And that's disturbing to me, because their focus is really on Leo in this situation, because he had no interest in her. We had discussions about it because I thought it was from him, right? Previous to this, and so did others. I witnessed these conversations where we're like, Leo, dude, you're leading her on. He's like, no, we're not. We're just friends. And I'm like, bro, you're playing. And then it culminates really on this night, Christmas night, where he literally coerced this woman into this humiliating act in front of everybody. It changed everybody's opinion of her, obviously. And to boot, in the corner, Scientologist Ethan Suplee, in the corner of my bedroom, with a camcorder recording the whole damn thing.
Whoa.
So he's got this television star whose life, and I don't know if you remember the climate in the 90s, but in the 90s, dude, people talk about cancel culture today. People get away with everything today compared to back then. If you got outed for something, it was the only news they got. There was no internet. Things didn't spread like wildfire. They were controlled by the press. And if the press decided to take you and your story, you're done. And if a tape came out back then, you remember these tapes? It literally changed lives. So he was putting at risk this person's entire career, her entire fortune that she had spent, an enormous amount of her time and creative self to achieve. And all of that now is in jeopardy because Ethan Suplee has this compromise on this tape that it's just interesting that he recorded it in the first place. And what's even more interesting than that is this dispute leads to a litigation, right? We end up in this big giant lawsuit, and we do these depositions. And during the deposition, we asked for discovery, right? You're familiar with that term?
Yeah.
Right. So discovery is when we go and we find out what they have, what evidence they have that can either prove or disprove our story. And they're supposed to, by subpoena, provide that for us during the lawsuit. So we subpoenaed that tape. Now, the reason we subpoenaed that tape wasn't because we wanted the Emily Foster footage. It was because we know, or we believe, that we spoke about Don's Plum, and Leonardo DiCaprio tried to assert legally that we were keeping secrets about it. And we weren't ever. We never did. You keep a feature film secret. Ridiculous thing I ever heard in my life from the people who are in it. It was the most stupidest thing I ever heard. But we thought that that Ethan, who was recording throughout the night, that there would be proof on that tape.
Right.
That we would be talking about Don's Plum, that Leo would have talked about Don's Plum. But the tape also contained this footage of Emily Foster. And so Ethan lost it. Also contained this footage of Emily Foster. And so Ethan lost it in the deposition, and he threatened to burn the evidence. Now, to be fair, full disclosure, he thinks it's photographs. I'm absolutely certain it wasn't, for two reasons. The first and foremost is that Leonardo DiCaprio would have never let Ethan Suplee take photographs on film of that night. No way. He would have never let Ethan Suplee take that roll of film, right? There were no digital cameras in 1995. He would have taken that roll of film to the CVS, right? To the photo, right? He was not going to let his career whispering again into a famous woman's ears while she's clearly for the camera, he's not going to let that go to phonomat. There's just no way. So I know it's video because it would be controlled under these situations. And the other thing is I saw it. I feel confident that my memory is correct, and it was videotape. So it was a disturbing night. And what was even more disturbing is that when he was threatening to throw that evidence away years later during the deposition, it occurred to me, holy shit, you still have it.
Right.
You still have it. Why would you still have that? Like they're best friends. Like if I had compromat on you and you're my best friend, first of all, I would imagine you'd ask me to get rid of it. Probably.
Right.
But if you don't, why wouldn't I? You know? Anyway, maybe he forgot that he had, a tape with the biggest star in the movie star in the world on it. Possibly.
Maybe.
So that's the story that leads to like that story. And that was the particular one that was most disturbing to me when I was talking to Toby that night, right? I was like, why did he do that? Like, what is that about? It wasn't to get off himself. It wasn't to get me off, right? Why would he do that? And I said, and I think it was because he wanted to humiliate her for some reason. And I think that reason is misogyny. That's my personal opinion. But I just think he's a misogynist. And so, when the Diddy thing broke.
Right.
And everyone's talking about like this idea that Leo might be exposed to Diddy's humiliations and all this other stuff. And I'm like, I don't know about that, dude. Because Leo's been rolling with this shit since before Diddy.
Whoa.
So maybe it's the other way around. I don't know. Could have been Leo going in, dude.
Well, I mean, who knows what compromising tapes they have on him?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that that somebody knows, but we don't. And we know that Leo was at the white parties. So just when people are putting that connection together, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I'll say this about it, right? Like maybe he had nothing to do with it, but it'd be very easy to believe for me that he would have participated as a viewer in a minute. He was an exhibitionist, and he was also somebody who like literally would put somebody through humiliation for his own amusement.
So at what point did you get to a point where you sued?
Well, we wanted to, I won't say we, but David Stubman, who was the producer who owned the copyright at the time, he wanted to sue right away, but no lawyer would take our case and we had no money. So it wasn't until after Titanic hit and all the lawyers that he visited and tried to convince to take on the case, those lawyers started calling him now. And then we ended up landing Burt Fields, who was at the time the biggest and most feared litigator in all of Hollywood, representing guys like Michael Jackson. And he thought, Burt Fields said he was going to be the big powerhouse that he was. He was going to flex his muscles. Leo was going to go, oh my God, I can't do this. And then we were going to end up in a settlement that would, behoove us all or benefit us all. And that didn't happen. Leo dug in instead. And that was a bit of a shock for Burt Fields. What? Leo dug in instead. He did not settle. Not right away. It took years.
Right.
Damn, Leo.
Even a casting coach, women sleeping with men to get roles.
Absolute. What? Absolutely. That's why you have some movies that are terrible because they got the role because of the casting couch.
Wow.
It goes back to what I say about reading the room and people giving you that part, that role, that job because they like being around you. You've got two women you want to cast for this role. One is a great actress, but she's rude. The other one is not a great actress, but she fine as hell, and she'll get down however you want to get down. I think we're gonna get a role with her. We're gonna have, it's gonna be a better time being around her than this one. No, thanks. And then you get this movie, and it's like, ooh, who casted her? She's pretty, but good Lord. The casting couch is derived of creeps. No. It's basically, sometimes people are in a position of power now that they weren't in when they were younger, and they take advantage of that. You know what I mean? So, there's definitely that. And then when you hear about the people that have done this, that, or the third, it doesn't stop. So yeah, you can see it. Now, can I be specific? Sure, I know such and such, she did this, blah, blah, blah. Fuck out of here. But just to answer your question, yes, totally believe in it. I mean, I don't know what the opposite is. Like, no, there's no such thing. People don't sleep around. Yes, they do. Very much so.
So you actually know women that slept their way to the top?
Sure.
Don't put no name on it.
Is it true that they try to make you sell your soul in the music industry?
They did try to take my friend to Bohemian Grove. They did take
What?
him. So my friend won a very big show that musicians do to get attention and get notoriety.
Like the American Idol or something like that?
Yeah, I won't say which one. He won. After that happened, they were taken out to a type of gathering where all of the big groups of people that are influential to musicians and to entertainment and politics, and they're kind of all intersecting, but they all have their own individual ones. So they all come and they do this meeting. It was a wooded area. There was somebody dressed in an owl type of, it was a female, some type of owl costume. Okay. But I don't think it was as cheesy as a costume. I think it's a ritualistic, thing that they do. And you had to either tell the people, I mean, these are influential people who could dead your career or further your career. There was a person there who the public thinks is deceased, who is alive. Some of these people you find in the biggest stories in history, and you have to decide, do I want to be a part of this ritual? And you have a choice. You walk through the door or you don't. It starts out as wanting people to hear your music, but then it turns into a monster. You have to feed it. The fame, the love, the attention, the money, the houses, the cars, all the chicks, all the guys, like whatever it is that you're about. Unfortunately, I'll never know what happened because he chose not to. I grew up in LA, so I know these things go on.
I respect, but he chose the right thing.
Remember when Diddy said he would show the world Ellen's tape? Check this out, y'all.
Ellen, we go so far back. Don't tell these people how far back we go.
I know, but I wear t-shirts. I don't know what that means. Anyway, all right, let's...
I mean...
You hold that.
Okay,
all right.
I got this take to it. The joke didn't work.
No, it's okay.
I don't want no problem.
What?
No, it's okay.
What?
So, cheers.
That guy heard everything.
That really happened?
You were sick, and look what I got you. Your boy. So whenever you get sick, you can have this.
Thank you so much. That's sweet. I probably won't wear it, but Portia would.
In my opinion, I think Ellen was far more involved with Diddy than anybody knows. I mean, why do you think she left the United States of America? I don't think it was because who got elected. I think she's running from something. But what do I know? As always, thank you for watching. Stay weird.
That happened on live TV. Come on, that is crazy.
Who really runs the U.S. government?
Trump called it the amorphous group of lunatics. Certain group of people behind closed doors that have the power that are doing this. Hillary's worth $300 million, $400 million. You know what that is to these other guys? You're nothing. That $400 million I spend on a regular day, just interest on what I'm paying, or dividends what I'm paying. $400 million. These other guys have the real kind of money. Who could that be? It's 130 total billionaires that have publicly declared who they're supporting. How many is for Kamala? How many things for Trump?
I would say like 15 for Trump, 115 for...
I think it's the opposite. I think the majority is probably for Trump.
You ready? 80 is Kamala, 50 is Trump. Why? Money people. Trump wins. Who do you think is making a phone call to say we have to change the approach? Money people. And who those money people are, we know some of the names. We don't know all the names. But the reality of it is, whoever those people are that can control the knobs, it's going to be tied to people that have money.
Always goes back to the money, huh?
You guys, oh my God, watch this.
I'm going to tell you guys a wild story. Or some wild information. But the crazy part is, some of you already know this. There's a dark side of Hollywood. There's a dark side of some of the most beautiful women in the world that you see now that are in Hollywood. And the men. I hope you guys understand that money makes people do strange things.
That's a fact.
Especially when they are in a spot where they don't have any money. So I'm going to give you a scenario of what has happened to many of the most beautiful women you see on Instagram or in Hollywood, period. Do you know? I'll tell you about the men too, because this is sad. I'll tell you about the men as well. But let's start with the women. Do you know that most of these women on the internet, right, and in Hollywood, have been contacted by billionaires and people who have, high value individuals from Dubai?
Oh, shit.
And they're contacted by these men to do something pretty interesting. And it's not what you think.
What is it?
Do you know that these rich men invite these Instagram models and actors, or before they're known in Hollywood, they invite them down to, they pay for their flight, they give them money, they treat them real nice, right? To do something really strange to them. Do you know what happens to a lot of these women?
What happens? Tell me.
They take pictures while don't get me wrong. They take a picture of this too. They defecate on them. They urinate and defecate on these women. And then they take pictures. Some of you have already heard this information before. So a lot of these people can get blackmailed pretty easily.
Yeah.
Because they don't want that picture getting out. So that's why some people can be controlled in the industry right now. It's more to it. The men in Hollywood that you see, some on the big screen, right? They have been propositioned by other men to get a role, to get more money, to get the part. Sometimes they're propositioned by billionaires, right? And they dangle this money right in front of us and say, hey,
money.
You want the job, right? Well, you got to do this. And they also document that as well. So when you see these actors and actresses in Hollywood and they look all happy on screen, right? They're smiling, they're happy, they're this and that. Do you know when you see these people off screen, they're sad and depressed, moping around, looking real like sad? How do I know this? How would I know this? Well, I'll tell you a quick story.
Another one?
I'm from California. At one point in time in my life, I was trying to be a big name actor in California.
Shit.
Now, after understanding what happens in this industry and seeing other people get propositioned, I said, I don't want any parts of that. So, like I said, when you guys hear me say something, it's from testimony. I don't just spill out stories. This is from testimony. A lot of your favorite actors, before they were famous, did something strange for change. And it's very sad. Peace and love. Deuces.
Man, flying to Dubai to get shitted on.
We need to talk about Simply Nessa because she has been recently exposing Hollywood, and I just saw this yesterday. So if you guys have never seen this girl before, basically she used to be a part of a collab channel with Tana Mojo called Trash. Basically, long story short, they were under the same management, and basically the manager and Tana and a bunch of people started spreading these rumors that Nessa was like this terrible person and talked shit about everyone in the YouTube space and essentially ruined her YouTube career. And she was given the title of Messy Nessie, and it really stopped her from rising to the top alongside Tana. So since then, Nessa no longer lives in LA. She's no longer associated with any of those people, and she is coming out on her social media accounts with stories exposing Hollywood. I just want to mention this too. Part of the way that they ruined Nessa's reputation is Jordan, their manager, and Tana started spreading rumors that Nessa was schizophrenic, which, looking back on this now, trying to make her look schizophrenic and make her look like she has a mental illness when she actually doesn't. And now she's exposing Hollywood. Why were you trying to make this girl look crazy?
Let me not even get into the shit that I saw at this party. While looking for the bathroom, I opened up a door I shouldn't have, and I saw some shit that I shouldn't have. And I genuinely wish I could erase it from my memory. And the only way I got out of that situation was pretending that I was high and drunk and acted like I didn't see anything. The things that I was offered in exchange for money and fame. I'm sure some of y'all hear about, the satanic shit that happens out in Hollywood allegedly, and some of y'all probably think, oh, it's probably just a joke or a rumor. People that you wouldn't even expect to be involved in that stuff are involved. The amount of times that I would witness literal children in adult spaces.
What?
Lifestyle that you see a lot of these IG models and Instagram famous people living. You think all these girls are funding these expensive lifestyles with brand deals? With a little Taco Bell sponsor? That ain't their only sponsor. I understand why all these movies try to make Hollywood look like this glamorous place. There's over 50,000 homeless people in Los Angeles.
So yeah, sister's got a lot to say. Now, I went down a rabbit hole, as you guys can imagine, looking through all of her stories that she's posted, exposing celebrities and exposing YouTubers, because you guys have to remember that she was a part of that space. So if anyone's gonna know what went down at those Hollywood parties and YouTube parties, it's gonna be someone that was there. And one of the stories that she told was the way that some of our favorite Instagram influencers and YouTube influencers get money is they literally will allow people to pay them, like really rich people to pay them to on them or like in their mouth. There's literally a video of Nessa talking about this, and she's like, it's the E. coli for me, it's the E. coli in the mouth for me, alluding to the fact that there are influencers that let people in their mouth for money. And she also alludes to other weird stuff too, like how she opened that door and there was like weird stuff going on and she wanted nothing to do with it, so she left LA. Like, this really is the age of Aquarius, because when you have people that were in the circle and a part of this lifestyle and now they no longer have any need to keep these secrets anymore,
What? No way.
We're not tied with it anymore. And as long as they don't say who they're talking about, they can just like tell all these stories, and it's mind-blowing. And all across all of Nessa's social media platforms, people are commenting saying like, Nessa, like, you need to be careful, girl. Please be careful when you're telling these stories, because like it's dangerous, especially when she's posting the content in long form. So if you guys want to hear a bunch of crazy Hollywood stories about your favorite YouTubers and stuff, obviously she doesn't say who the people are, but you could put two and two together, especially if you followed YouTube back in the day. It's just crazy. The age of Aquarius is literally happening and people are exposing the hoes.
Exposing the hoes. That's crazy.
How did we go from this and this to this and this? Of course, with the help from our friends at the 3-letter agencies. And this is for entertainment purposes only and is only my opinion. And if you think celebrities in Hollywood are just the coolest, you are on the wrong side of TikTok, hun. Okay, back to this transformation. Operation Longleash and Operation Mockingbird. Both of these CIA operations were launched to influence culture. Ooh. And it might have started with the idea to beat the Soviets, but it did not end there. Operation Mockingbird started in the early 50s. They recruited journalists to push out propaganda. They funded news agencies, newspapers, magazines, and movies, all to push agency-approved narratives. Operation Longleash was from the mid to late 50s. This is when the CIA covertly funded art, specifically American art, music, film. This is how we got abstract art. And I am blaming right now the CIA for modern architecture. Kidding, not kidding. The agency has always had their hand in movies. Movies are steered by them, scripts rewritten, and films like Animal Farm completely paid for by the agency. And this was not just for propaganda abroad. Because if they figured out how they can control populations of people abroad, why wouldn't they use it here? In the late 60s and early 70s, we've got the peace, love, and rock and roll hippies. And if you love that era and the peace and love and the organic nature of all of that, well, don't look into it very much. It will ruin it for you. Now, in the 70s, Hollywood's obsession with the occult was not random. It directly mirrored the CIA's experiments into psychic warfare. There was literally a psychic arms race with us and the Soviets. Really? And we ended up with projects like Project Stargate and Grill Flame. And the movies at that time mirrored all of that. Not to mention occult celebrities like Anton LaVey and Army PSYOP officer Michael Aquino. Of course, Anton LaVey started the Church of Satan, and Michael Aquino broke off from Anton LaVey and started the Temple of Set. And you cannot tell me that this guy was not doing weird stuff for our government. He literally worked in psychological warfare. My big question is, why do so many movies and Hollywood performances and music performances look like satanic rituals? Is it just for shock value? Because occult symbolism sells? All the symbolism and the pentagrams and the horns and the fire, the ritual staging, is it just all a performance? Just a spectacle? Just because it creates controversy? If that's true, it's kind of getting old, and you'd think that they'd move on to something else now. What I really think is going on is that dark ritualistic aesthetics serve as a psychological tool. The audience experiences awe, fear, submission, the same emotions that rituals are designed to trigger. That emotional manipulation is gold for mass influence. And I am not saying that every performance is some sort of ritual, but they do manipulate in the same way that rituals do. And all of this circles back and connects to intelligence agencies and how art and Hollywood and music have all been influenced by these operations. What are your thoughts on this?
Intentionally makes an agreement with a demon, makes a pact. And as the exorcists point out, demons aren't bound to any promises, but often they come through with what they promise. So there are some famous ones, which is in the book. John Lennon famously made a pact for 20 years of fame, and he got it. And 20 years to the day, he was shot and killed. And I haven't found all the details about this, but the man who, I was trying to find it before I finished the second edition of the book, but the man who shot him was apparently being driven basically to kill him. Like voices were talking to him to kill John Lennon, kill John Lennon.
I do remember that.
Mark David Chapman, yeah. And then as I recall, he was exorcised of 5 demons.
Wow.
The man who shot John Lennon. And they repeated the pact, renewed the pact close to the 20-year time when it ran up. And yeah, I mentioned 3 books that are good biographies on that whole thing. But so that's one.
Wow, I've never heard that.
And also on if you
that's crazy.
Proof that Hollywood is evil, part infinity. Let's talk about the Black Eye Club. Over the years, we have seen literally hundreds of celebrities pop out and be photographed with black eyes. Here we see Ryan Gosling. Here we see Elon, who was at a very important meeting at a certain Oval Office. Here we have Doja Cat with the same, and I've covered her extensively. Here we have Adam Sandler. Here we have Lorde, who would end up posting this picture to her Instagram. Robert Downey Jr., as well as this man. J-Lo as well, no exception. Now, I want you guys all to think about experiences you've had in your life. I am literally pushing 30 years old, and I can tell you that I've never had a black eye in my entire life. What's even crazier is all the celebrities that I just showed you who all have black eyes, they happen to have this crazy story to go along with it almost. For instance, Adam Sandler says got a black eye in 2022 after accidentally kicking his phone while in bed. I also want you guys to keep in mind that the majority of people who have black eyes at some point in their life, they either hide it with glasses, makeup, etc. Especially in Hollywood, hypothetically, you would imagine that these celebrities would just hide it. For years, people have hypothesized exactly what this could mean and why these celebrities are so frequently getting these. Some people have hypothesized it's some type of initiation ritual. Other people have hypothesized it's more about humiliation and putting themselves in the limelight with said injury. Bottom line is, the majority of people will barely get a black eye in their entire life. But you mean to tell me that almost every A-list Hollywood star at some point goes and parades that around? Hollywood is weird, man. Wake up.
He said he ain't never had a black eye. He ain't never got into a fight.
So Hollywood is about to lose its mind. Meet the very first AI actress, Tilly Norwood. Tilly is about to change Hollywood forever. She's considered an AI tool / AI actress. Think about this part. They don't have to pay her a dime.
Nope.
So the union that represents actors and actresses in Hollywood has already made a statement, and they're not happy about what's going on. Think about this. They can actually make this AI tool / AI actress do whatever they want. So the days of big name Hollywood celebrities demanding XYZ to do certain scenes, she can now do that. So the days of I'm not comfortable shooting that scene or doing that type of scene are over, because Tilly Norwood can do that scene for you. So another thing to consider, is this going to be the future of Hollywood productions, let's say in the next 5 to maybe 10 years? As a matter of fact, take a look at this.
Hollywood actors are speaking out, responding to reports that multiple talent agencies are interested in signing an AI actress.
I'm built on everything that came before me.
Tilly Norwood might seem like any other aspiring actress. She has an Instagram page showing off her screen tests alongside candid moments.
Tilly Norwood, 100% AI generated.
So after watching that, what are your thoughts? I mean, think about actors and actresses today, how they have to enhance them because of age. They're human beings, correct? These are AI tools, AI generated actors and actresses. You can keep them at whatever age you want, or make them age if you need them to. So I guess my question to you is, after seeing and hearing all of this, what are your thoughts? Is Hollywood in trouble? Is this the next generation of movie stars in the making? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
They definitely gonna push the AI actress.
So story time. In 2010, I went to an industry party with one of my girlfriends and my manager. And at the time I was doing music, but today we just wanted to go out and have some fun. Okay, so when we end up at this party, this singer happens to be very famous, actually. He's trending right now. He was acting insane, really insane. I mean, this guy did lines and lines and lines of M. There was about probably like 50 people in this suite, and it was a pretty large suite. And it was him and a couple of his rapper friends who are also famous. And I kid you not, this singer probably hooked up with 25 women that night.
Damn.
And I know this because there was many instances when he would grab a girl and he would leave the hotel room and he'd 25? Be gone for 10, 15 minutes and then come back. And he would look disheveled, okay? And I knew that eventually I wanted to leave because he was gonna try to make his rounds to the other side of the suite because there were so many girls, and he was kind of starting in the area where everybody was snorting these M's. So now he's making his way to the other side of the room, which is where me and my girlfriend are at. And I'm already feeling a little uncomfortable and unimpressed by his behavior. And my girlfriend, she's very much standoffish. But my manager kept reiterating, hey, this is your opportunity. You can make a song with him. I was not one bit interested at the moment. But I didn't want to seem like a Debbie Downer and just abruptly leave because I was feeling uncomfortable, which, ladies,
man, get the fuck. Anytime you feel uncomfortable, abruptly leave. Don't care how you feel. Don't care how nobody else feel. Move how you gotta move. That's just advice.
If you feel uncomfortable, just fucking leave. And so he comes up to me and he's like, hit this. So, well, he met me more with, you seem really uncomfortable. Why are you so stiff? Hit this. And everybody's looking at me, and I didn't want to seem weird because I was the only woman of color there. That was the first red flag. But of course, I'm 19, 20, 21 years old. So I think I was like 20 years old. So anyway, I take a hit of this, which also, when I did that, I had my hand, it took me aback a little bit. So the sensation, and so my hand was extended out as soon as I hit it, and my girlfriend thought I was passing it to her, so she grabs it and hits it, and we both feel that feeling, this immediate, weird, tingling, cold feeling from the top of our heads to the bottom of our feet. And I'm immediately scared, uncomfortable, and I'm asking, what did you just give me? What did you just give me? And his rapper friend jumps in like, oh, I'm so sorry. I thought you knew what it was. And I respond with, is this Angel, right? And he's saying, no, it's not that. It's just regular stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, this is not regular stuff. My girlfriend's saying her lips are tingling, her head's tingling.
What?
She feels weird. This doesn't feel normal. And then the rapper friend is saying, hey, we could give you a bottle. We could give you a suite all to yourselves. We don't want no problems. We don't want no problems. And at that moment, I knew something was going to go awry. So I decided I'm leaving. I don't give a shit. I leave. My girlfriend follows. The manager stays back because he's trying to talk and politic.
Right.
And I'm just like, I want no parts. By the time we get home, the feeling finally goes away and I am shook to my core. And I'm saying this story because if this man is doing what he's doing right now, he's going viral for how he's acting, it's because his brain is rotting from not only all the M and whatever he's smoking, but all the women he's running through. And you can tell that 25. Everything he does is completely out of desperation to escape his mind at every single moment. Every 5 to 10 minutes, he was doing the biggest rails. So am I surprised that he's having meltdowns and he's going crazy? No. And I remember calling him out online for something that I had a feeling he did to a few of our biggest stars. And I remember somebody he knew responding, telling me to shut up and trying to, talk down to me and all that stuff. And I get it. Like, that's your friend. You want to defend him. But I'm telling you right now, this guy is complete brain rot. He is the scum of the earth. He's one of the scummiest dudes in the industry. He seems nice. He seems genuine. He seems like a well-rounded guy. No, he's trash. He's trash.
I don't know who
and
she's talking
I'm
about.
not surprised that people in his family want nothing to do with him. I'm not surprised that even men that are as horrendous as him in the industry want nothing to do with him because he's a ticking time bomb. He's going to reveal some of Hollywood's darkest secrets. Because what he's going through right now, he was raised in a good home. He was raised in a good home, and you could tell that he just so badly wants to fit in. And these horrendous people are rejecting him because they feel as though even though he's down to do some dirt bag shit, he's not really one of them. He's just the water boy, essentially. So just keep an eye on him. You guys will figure out who it is. You'll figure it out.
I don't know who you talking about, Shorty. All right, guys, that was another compilation, man. That was about conspiracy theories, Illuminati, the industry, and all that. You made it this far, you a real one for real. Make sure you put that in the comments. But man, some of these stories and some of this stuff, absolutely mind-blowing, crazy stuff that be going on. Allegedly. But look, man, till next time, self-love and positivity. Fire Squad, I got you and you know it.